Hey guys, it is Lori and this is Matt on a Matt Monday, and we are talking about our Impossible Marriage book. Specifically, we're talking about Matt's part in the book and how it applies to our real life today. Specifically, I got a question for you, Matt. One question today on this Matt Monday, and it is this. Why is it that it seems like there are many male Christian leaders who are falling sexually? And it's been happening. I know it's not just new now. It's probably been happening since the time began. But why is that, Matt? What's going on with masculinity and broken sexuality? Help us.
Well, I think boil it down into just a couple words. One is that we are not trained as men to be emotionally active and engaged and assertive in our own lives. We are taught kind of from a young age, hey, boys will be boys, quote unquote. Boys will be drawn toward this physical engagement of sex, and that is something that we're never really taught to confront. We're never taught about the emotional pieces that go on underneath it, and so it becomes just this very animalistic, physiological, basal desire, and that's something that honestly is also been told to women, especially in marriage. Hey, if you are not caring for your husband, if you're not giving to your husband, he's going to shop in someone else's store.
Yep.
And so as men, we're trained, hey, you can't really be anything more than this base instinct. And then women are told, hey, if you don't take care of this base instinct, then they will go elsewhere. And so in both cases, men are kind of seen as animals, is nothing more than that. And that's an issue, because when you look at sex, it's about so much more than just this physiological release. If that was all that sex was about, any guy who is engaged sexually with someone in a consistent manner would never have a reason to cheat, would never have a reason to look at porn, would never have a reason to engage outside of that relational bound. And yet we see it happen all the time, because sex is not just about physiology. There is so much emotionally going on beneath the surface, whether that's feeling like they are desired, feeling safe in the relationship, being cared for, just someone saying, I love you, I like you so much, or that there's purpose and there's value to what they're doing even. And so if we don't start to identify, okay, what are these emotional components, and just leave sex as this physical pursuit, then it's going to go to these places where it promises this fulfillment, but ultimately leaves you less fulfilled, feeling more guilt and shame, and quiets your ability to actually hear what is you really need, because it's like you're speaking through a pillow. Your heart is speaking through this pillow. It's muffled. You can tell it's hurting, but it's not really able to be understood as well.
So these leaders, they have this heart stuff going on, but because they haven't been trained in a language of the heart to name what they actually need, they're going to these sexually, and then it can become addictive places, and then they still have these unmet needs that are just muffled, these heart needs that they do have. So if someone is listening and they're saying, oh my goodness, that is totally me, I'm running to these different places, I have these needs in my heart, whether male or female, how can they start to really meet those heart needs, Matt?
Well, I think the first thing you have to ask is, okay, what is sex promising me? What is it that I think I am going to get out of this exchange, this interaction, this endeavor, whatever you're doing? Because ultimately that promise will probably tie back to that emotional need that you feel, whether it's a sense of control, power, to be loved, to be desired, something. But if you can't identify it, you can't really enact change. So if you identify it first, then you can start to move toward healthy relationship with that thing in your relationship with God, and hopefully in healthy relationships with other people.
Guys, you see why I appreciate Matt so much. If you want to hear more from him and his brilliant words regarding sexuality and confronting really this issue in his own life, check out our Impossible Marriage book. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, everywhere. Go get it. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next